Welcome back to Not Real Fishing, everybody, and today we are going back to that creek again, but hopefully this will be the last time we're going back there because my mom is officially home from the hospital. She's been home since Tuesday. Today is Saturday, and so things are going better, which means I can now leave the house a little bit more. I wasn't able to film for basically the past 3 weeks, so basically, if everything continues the way it is, I should be back to getting back to the regular schedule. Today's plan is to go to that creek. Hopefully, we're either gonna catch a few bass, which would be nice. That's not the main goal. The main goal is hopefully to get a few bluegill, and I might keep 1 or 2 of them to use as bait at another spot. So I'm thinking we'll go there, catch a few bluegill, maybe a few bass, keep 1 or 2 of them, maybe 3 depending on the size. And then tomorrow, which will be Sunday, we will go to the alligator spot and fish some cut bait. Maybe we'll get some bowfin, maybe we'll get some bass, catfish, who knows. But that's the goal right now. So, yeah, I'll meet you guys at the spot. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited to get back in the rhythm of things because I miss fishing. I feel like I've been trapped in the house for a month because she was in the hospital for a month and almost 2 weeks. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll meet you guys at the water. All right, guys, we have made it to the creek. There's a lot more current today than there has been. We're gonna come down this way by the rocks, check something out real fast. As you can see, there's a lot more current. Oh, this is squishy, squishy, squishy. About sunk in right there. There's a lot more current today. As you can see, there's a lot of it, which is good, meaning that there's a lot more fresh water moving this way, which means there might be some fish stacked up in this pool where it gets deep, just waiting for food. We're gonna head to that little bank right there and try to Tinkara fish a little bit with a floating line with a kabari on there and just try to see if we can bring anything up. And hopefully, they're much more turned on than the past few times we've come out here. We just spooked something, did y'all see that? I wasn't even looking. You guys saw it before I did. I was watching my footing. It's probably a turtle. Oh no, I see some gills right here in the shallows. All right, so what we're gonna do, oh, I see a bass. We're gonna stop right here and we're gonna go ahead and just get rigged up. I see a little bass, maybe like 6 inches long maybe, which is probably what we spooked. So we're gonna go ahead and get this out. I was originally gonna go with a non-floating line, but since we do have a little bit of wind today, I'm gonna stick with something that cuts through it a bit better. And I also like the presentation of this because I can really see the strikes really easily. We're gonna fish this today on its fully extended length. And the kabari we have is just brown thread body with a rooster feather for the front. And that's what we're gonna go with. And we're just gonna hopefully get something to eat. And just like that. I didn't bring my net today. I wasn't sure if I would need it. This one here is actually pretty good for bait size, for what I would need it for. But it's a little too early in the trip for me to keep bait. So there he is, very pretty little bluegill. We're gonna move just a bit closer to the water here at the risk of getting our feet wet. And we're gonna let this little guy go. All right, and there he goes, taking off. All right, let's see if we can get another one. I wanna get over there. This is what I love about fishing. Is some days you come out and it's just absolutely nothing. And other days it's just, oh, amazing. Got it right in that deep pool. Just gonna slowly bring it with the current. Little nibble. Just letting it drift a little bit. There we go. A little bit nicer of a hit. Very, very pretty bluegill. Look at them colors on that bad boy. That's a beautiful fish. Absolutely beautiful fish here, guys. Come on, let me see, camera. Absolutely, look at that tail. Absolutely gorgeous. We're gonna let him go as well. Right here in this swiftly moving water. And he's off. All right. I can do this all day long. Aside from getting tangled and everything, which is the normal when you're fishing. All right, see what else is there. We're gonna bring this one, we're gonna cast it straight out and bring it to us with a bit more speed against the current. No hits. Ooh, nice bass. Nice bass. I don't know how well the hook set is, so I'm not gonna horse him. Very nice bass on here, guys. Not huge, but a lot nicer than what I was expecting to hook onto today. We're gonna try to get a little bit closer to this bank here. He's diving down deep. He's fairly small, not huge, but I'll take it for, you know, not been out fishing for quite some time. I'm trying to keep you the... Alrighty, there we go, guys. Look at that pretty bass. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh yeah, nice little creek bass. Got some damage to his tail there. We're gonna bring him a bit closer to this spot here and let him go. Bunch of little minnows going crazy, and we're gonna let this guy go. And he's off. All right. Well, that was fun. All righty. I could do that all day long, man. I'm telling you. This is why I love fishing. And once the water warms up like this, and these creeks just become absolutely choked full of fish. Now we could go to the further end of the spectrum here and see if we can find anything, because that may have spooked a lot of fish, but we're gonna fish it against the current here. Fish this one a little bit quicker because I'm fishing it in shallower water. Oh! Set the hook a bit hard for you, didn't I, bud? Another nice little... Come on, camera, let me see. Nice little bluegill. We're gonna let him go as well over here. He's ready to go. All right. There we go. Another little gill, I think. It's not too small. It's a nice sized little gill. Alrighty. Barely hooked him too. Still got his winter colors on. We're gonna let this little guy go too. Very pretty gill. Oh, and he's off. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna head that way. I see a bunch of fish landing on top of the water. We're gonna walk along this bank and get a little bit closer to that point. We're not gonna go up the bank yet, but we are going to head in that general direction, a little bit further down the bank, because I want to see if there's anything further down the bank before we go up and go back to where we normally see a lot of the larger bass. This is kind of risky because this bank is, oh, I almost fell in. Almost fell in. Ha, I'm too fast, too furious. Well, we almost fell in, but now we are here, a bit further down the bank. It's a lot squishier because the ground is so wet. But we're gonna fish this where it kind of shallows up. I already had a nibble. Oh, that's a tree. I'm fishing it kind of fast because we have a bit of current. And I really don't want to. It's going to bring it very slowly across. It's had a hit. I missed the hook set though. What I'd originally intended on doing was getting some, oh no, we may have lost this one. Yeah, I think we did. Let's see. Yep. All right. Now we're at a difficult decision here. Well, that worked. So, did we lose the whole leader? Yes, we did. Okay, so we've lost the whole leader. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna break out the cane pole real quick and we're gonna fish that really fast. All right guys, cane pole is out. We're gonna be using a blue, which like chartreuse, blue body chartreuse with some silver flake in the tail, and then a black beetle spin jig head. And hopefully this is gonna attract something that's hungry. We done got one nice sized bass. Maybe there's a couple more down there. Well, that was fast, and that was furious. I wasn't even ready for that. Try that again. Maybe it'll come back for round two. There we go. Very big bluegill. Very big bluegill. Look at the size of this guy. Look at this. Now that, oh, calm down. Calm down. That's a bluegill worth catching right there. Look at that bad boy. It's a nice sized gill, nice and healthy. It's a root. It's a stick. All right, so we're gonna let this guy go. That was fun. Thank you for your patronage, sir. All right, what we're gonna do now is I'm going to do a couple more casts because that was fun. I still might break out the Tinkara rod in a minute, but if this keeps working, I might stick with the cane pole for a bit. Because I'm still trying to get this pole broke in because it's still new. So I'm still getting used to it. So I wouldn't mind getting some more practice with it. All right, what we're gonna do, get a little bit closer to here, and then I think we're gonna be done with casts. So far this rod holds up really well against these big old bluegills. And these are some big old gills, man. Look at the size of these guys. He's hooked really well. There we go. Another really nice sized bluegill. We're gonna let him go. And I think we're gonna re-rig the Tinkara rod up, and then we're gonna get to moving. All right guys, I'm gonna fix the Tinkara rod, and then we're gonna get back to it. So I'll get back to y'all in a minute. All right guys, I lied to you. I am not breaking the Tinkara rod out yet. I'm gonna keep fishing with this cane pole just for a little bit longer, because the Tinkara rod fits in my backpack a bit easier than this does. So I'm gonna leave it in the pack, and we're gonna just fish along this bank till we get towards the back. If the bite slows down with this, I'll switch back. Maybe I'll do some dry fly fishing before we head out of here. But right now I really just wanna, you know, keep this catching boat rolling. It's my first time fishing in, you know, months, it feels like. I mean, the past couple times that I've gone here on the channel where y'all have seen, I've had, well, I've been stuck, or, you know, I have like a time frame. Like, oh, I've only got about, you know, 20-30 minutes to fish, and then I'm out of time. Whereas today is the first day I'm out here, and the only limiting factor is me. If the sun sets, well, oh well, I'm still fishing. So okay, so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna keep working our way. Another reason why too is it's a bit easier to fish the cane poles in all this really tall cover here, because there's a little bit less casting, and the wind is picking up because we have storms coming in tonight and possibly tomorrow. So we're just gonna fish our way down this creek. Oh, that was a nice bass, and we lost him. What I really want to do now is head to that deep spot at the very end, because we've seen some really big bass back there, and I want to see if they're as fired up as these ones are up here. Because if they are, you can always tell when it's a gill, the way they bite. They like bite and they dig, and then they shake their head, then they spit it out. Those of you that are new to the channel and don't know what my channel is all about, basically what we do here is we fish like everybody else does, except we don't use reels. Well, that's technically not true, because we do use hand lines, which you could argue is a type of reel. But we don't use conventional rod and reel like bait casters and things of that nature. We use things that are a bit eccentric, things that most people overlook, which means sometimes we catch fish that a lot of times people overlook. Because when you have a rod that can cast, you know, 200 feet of line, you don't really think about fishing right in front of you. Whereas when you only have a very short line and all you can do is fish in front of you, sometimes you catch fish that other people miss. But also it lends really well to this small creek fishing that I really enjoy doing. Big open lakes and such, it's not as good. It works, but it's much easier. Another little gill. I'm gonna have to lob this one because it's like a 5-foot drop to get down to the water. There's no way down there, unfortunately. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work our way back a little bit further, because even though the fishing is going absolutely fantastic, I have a lot of stuff I want to do in this video. Like for starters, I want to catch more fish, and I want to see if those big bass towards the end are fired up or not. We're gonna work our way back there. We're not just gonna run like I normally did like the last time we were here. I want to kind of fish my way there. I'm not going to spend too much time on the areas in between, but I do want to try to catch. The main reason why I don't like hooking up the fish here in this spot is because of the fact that the bank is so high. It can be hard to reel them in because I have to lift the entire fish with the weight of the rod, and there is the risk that the rod will break. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get out of this tall grass and we're gonna kind of skirt it and come up by that pipe. Ooh, see, there's something that spooked all them fish right there. And we're gonna go probably right where those fish just got spooked. And then again, there's kind of a path through the grass here. We'll just risk it, hopefully not get bitten by a snake, and work our way through this grass. I don't like doing this because there is always the risk of snakes, not to mention ticks. Unlike a lot of people, I don't prepare before I go fishing. I just pick up my stuff and walk out the door. I don't even read like, ooh, big old frog. I barely even read like the weather. I just go, is it raining? Yes, no, that's it. I don't even look. And half the time I'm checking the weather as I open my window and look outside. I don't check to see like, you know, what the wind speed is and what direction it's coming from. I don't do any of that. I feel like I'm gonna go fishing regardless, no matter what the weather looks like. So why? Look at them fish getting spooked back there. Probably that bass we just hooked earlier, spooking a bunch of fish. All right, guys, we've made it back to that deep hole that I love fishing. Now, the only problem with this spot is twofold. One, we could hook into something that we can't land with this. And two, I don't know. I don't remember what two was. I lost my my train of thought. I'm too excited to get the water out. I mean, get the line out. Little bluegill had it. Little gill. There we go, guys. Bit darker than the other ones. It smells like spring out here. Beautiful little gill. It just smells like spring back here, and it's making me so happy. Because I love fishing, and it always tends to be better in the warmer months. Alright guys, we're going to move on down a bit. Now, I went ahead and changed my battery because this is the spot where a lot of the times I see a lot of bass hanging out, and or I get hooked up and then lose them. So I want to be sure that I have the battery power to fight it and not have to worry about my battery dying before I catch them. Now there's a good possibility they're not going to bite for a few minutes because I got so close to the bank. Oh, it's a tree pounder. Oh, we got a tree pounder, guys. I don't know if we can land him. Did we land him? Did we get the tree pounder? No, we lost the tree pounder, but... Oh no, we caught him. He's just a lot smaller than he looked, you know. The water made it look, fish just fed off top of the water. So I'm definitely gonna switch to my dry flies. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let this little guy go, be free. And then we're going to switch to the Tinkara rod. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're gonna use a bit of an experimental fly. I thought of this one a little while ago. It's just yellow dubbing with like some deer hair pulled over the back of it and then pulled back to make a tail. I have no idea what it's supposed to imitate. I just one day was tying stuff and I was like, I like the deer hair. Let's see how good it floats. And I thought maybe I can make it like a floating minnow. And it floats. But I thought maybe it would look a bit like a cricket. So I thought I'd give that a try today because I don't have anything to lose. So his gills got me wrapped around a tree branch, but he liked it. Liked it a little bit too much. All right, we lost the branch. Oh wow, it's the biggest tree pounder we've had in a long time. We lost the gill though, but the fly is somewhere right here. There we go. Well, that probably spooked everything out of here for like a couple miles. We're gonna try again. We bent the crap out of our hook. So maybe this isn't the best fly to keep using, but because it's experimental, if we lose a big fish on it, then I'll just get mad then. So we're gonna do a couple more casts and then we're gonna change flies again and probably change locations. I've seen a couple fish go after it, so that's good. I think it mimics maybe like a roach. Or like a lot of water bugs we have around here. There we go, guys. Big old gill. Not as big as the ones we got earlier, but he choked it. They only hesitate on it for a second. They watch it, they wait for it to move, and then they crushed it. Come on, dude. You gotta open your mouth. Thank you. It's a bit hard to remove this hook though. Can't really get a hook hold of it. Oh, the hair. There we go. Very nice little gill. Not as big as the ones we had earlier, but still a nice gill. All right, we're gonna dry this fly off. It actually looks a bit more buggy when it starts to break apart. That's kind of a good thing. And then we're gonna try a couple more casts with this. See if we can get some more fish to eat it. All right, guys, this is what we're switching to. It's a brown body kabari with some peacock curl wrapped around it. And then it has a brown chicken feather from my mom's thing. It's a brown colored one, doesn't have any like black mixed in. And hopefully this is going to kind of mimic a dragonfly with that longer shank. And I'm seeing a lot of dragonflies above the water, which is why I think this might be a good way to do it. This is not going to float for very long. I do have floating I could put on it, but I don't think it's really going to matter. It's on top of the water right now. Fish is already looking at it. You hear the pop. He went for it, but he missed the hook. I'm not pulsing it, I'm just letting it slowly drift. And there we go, just like that. Oh no. Oh, he came off the hook. Let's find him. There he is. Here, bud. Hey, I got you. Very nice little bluegill. Come on, focus camera. Very pretty little guy. We're gonna let him go in our usual fashion. Whee! All right. Now, what I was gonna say, hold on, before I do that, let me put this in my backpack. What I was gonna say is, I love fishing with the longer shank hooks on kabaris, because I find that it makes the fly look more realistic, especially when you're going for like a dragonfly imitation, because it really kind of has that look, you know. But the only thing I'll say that I don't like about it is a lot of the times the fish will hit the hackle and not the hook point. So unless they actually like choke it down, a lot of the times they'll just hit the body of the hook and miss the hook, or they'll hit the hackle and they won't get the hook at all either. So they really have to hit it at a good angle, or they have to have a larger mouth. So like for bass, it works great because they suck in the body and the hook is a little bit further down in the mouth, allowing you to get behind the lips a little bit. So it's really good for bass. It works for gills. It's just the smaller ones, you tend to get a lot of strikes where they miss the hook up. But the benefit is, because it looks a bit more realistic, you get more hookups. So it's kind of a pick your poison kind of thing. And for me, there we go. Another nice gill. And for me, I'd rather be able to, you know, hook them a lot than do all that. You know, I'd rather get a lot of strikes and miss a few than get less strikes and not miss any. Because I'd rather feel the fish biting the hook, you know, and know that the fly is working. And my barb is crushed. I just crushed it. I almost forgot about it. But my barb is crushed. And we've only hooked up 2, and they weren't too bad gut-hooded, so hooked. So we don't really need to worry about the barb too much. Let's try over this way. Oh, that's a... Try over this way towards this bank. It's gonna kind of drift it across this current seam here. All right, I think we've tortured this little spot enough. We're gonna move, let's see, can I even get over here? It's a bit shallow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move back up the way we came a little bit, and we're gonna fish our way back to where we started with this new fly tied on. And hopefully we can get a few fish along the way. I don't want to be walking through this tall grass in the dark. That's why I'm heading back now. I'm gonna take my sunglasses off, which I normally don't like to do when I'm fly fishing, because I don't want to risk hitting myself in the face with a hook. So we're gonna start right here, where it's a bit shallower here. See if there's anything in this shallower, faster moving current that's hungry. Missed him. A little bit off trajectory there, but another nice little gill. Another nice little gill. Do a couple more casts. Another little tap. That's what I was saying about that long shank. Sometimes it works against you. Ooh, another nice little gill. He's little, but we got him. Oh no, dude, you missed. See, that's what I mean. He went for this part, but got hooked by the back, and it got him in the eye. Hold on, dude. Got a wind knot too. Hold on, hold on. I'm gonna get it. I know it hurts. Thankfully, my hook was barbless. I'm gonna let him go. He's a little stressed. Thankfully, my hook was barbless, so it didn't hurt him too bad. Can I undo this wind knot? A wind knot is when your line ties itself into a knot. For those of you who don't do fly fishing of any kind, sometimes if you get it before it gets too tight, you can do that and undo the knot. If it gets too tight to the point you can't undo the knot, it's better to retie, unless you know for a fact you're not going to catch any fish big enough to break it, which most likely right now with what we're using, that's not the case. We're not going to worry about any really big fish breaking it or hooking it, but I missed him. Second time today. With a nice sized gill though. Alright. Another nice gill. I'm sorry I wasn't aimed at the water there. I wasn't even paying attention to where the camera was. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to that point, and then we'll probably do a few casts there. And then we're gonna go back to where we started and probably keep one or two at the end of that if we catch any more. And then we're probably gonna call it, because I don't have a lot more time to fish. It's getting to be a bit dark out here. So we're gonna sit up here for a minute, or stand up here for a minute, and just kind of fish. Throwing it across, dragging across the current, kind of pulsing it as I go against the current ever so slightly. I like going against the current instead of going with it, because I feel like it gives my fly a bit more action. And I feel like if you're fishing it that way, any fish that sees it knows that it's not just a piece of grass. Oh, fudge, man. I hate when that happens. Come on now, guys. Welcome to North Carolina, guys. You gotta always be on your toes and watching what you're doing. I stopped for 1 second. Is there any more on me? Yes, a big super major, a couple of little ones. Ooh, now they're itching. So if y'all didn't see what happened there, because I freaked out like a little girl, my shoe is covered in fire ants and a spider. Not so much worried about the spider. Fire ants, yes, because they will continue to bite you. And man, I got lit up. Whew. Probably at least 10 of them got me. And they are burning now. And we're gonna find my rod over here. And we're gonna make our way out of here and work our way to the front. Not out of here, but work our way to the front. Man, this is a tough piece of grass. Come here. Work our way to the front, because I am hurting. My ankles are burning. Woo. And the worst part is you want to scratch, but you know you can't, because if you do, it just makes it worse. But oh boy, do I want to scratch right now. All right, we're gonna make our way back to the front. Probably where we caught those big old bluegill. You know, it's sad. When I was walking through these bushes the first time, all the scratching of the grass was uncomfortable because it was bothering my ankles. I could feel it scratching. It's like, oh, I don't want to be scratched up by the grass. But now those ants chewed me up. The grass is scratching my burning ankles. So it kind of feels good. Perspective, people, perspective. All it takes to make itchy grass feel good is the itchy grass scratching ant bites. Looks like we got little bass here. Not really little, but not really big either. Oh no. Okay. Now the question is, how are we gonna land him? Oh, not like that. Well, that's the negative of fishing in these creeks. Sometimes you lose them. Hopefully I got that on camera, I'm not even sure. Oh, my ankles are burning. Little old gill. Can always expect to see them around this time. Another wind knot. It is another wind knot. Another nice gill, guys. Can I undo this wind knot too? I don't know, this one looks pretty tight. The way you do them is you just push against the line. Hopefully you can get enough to loosen it up. Oh, I might be able to loosen this one, let's see. There we go. That's a gill. Yeah, it's a big old angry gill. Come here, bud. There we go. Big old angry gill. Nice gill, guys. All right, we're gonna keep working our way back until we get back to where we started. I love to recatch those big old gills on this. It'd be fun on this rod. So that might be what we do, just head straight on back towards the very beginning. It's also getting not quite late afternoon, but the afternoon bite should be starting soon. I won't be out here much longer. The wind is picking up, we got rain coming in. I got stuff I still have to do at the house. But we are gonna do a few more casts here. Just spooked a couple fish. There's a whole school of them, including a bass I just saw. Not real big, but we're gonna go down just a little bit. I want to fish this point. There we go, guys. Another nice little gill. I'm actually going to be able to go down there and release this one. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get down there, even though it's probably going to spook everything. We're still going to get down here and let this little guy go. Alright guys, now it's time to get one or two for bait. What I'm using now is just a little ant pattern. And we know there's ants out here because they've already chewed on me. So maybe in some reverse psychology kind of way, using an ant, a non-ant, but an ant imitation as bait is a way to make it seem like I'm getting back at these fish for... Also, it's a really good dry fly pattern. Of course, it's not dry anymore because I got it wet, but well, first little guy for bait. Do we really want to keep bait, guys? Part of me wants to. Part of me doesn't. I think what we're going to do is we're not going to keep these guys for bait. We're just going to do a few casts, catch a few more, and then we're going to call it. What we'll do is we'll just oh, sure. What we're gonna do is we'll just what we're gonna do is have a little bit of fun because there's a bunch of bugs flying around the water. I'm going to get out my floatant and we're just gonna do some dry fly fishing. Ooh, y'all see that over there? Big old fish going after the dragonflies. Oh, about fell in the water. Trying to get my floating out my book bag without falling in the water. And so far, it's not going too good. Now the way you use this stuff, this is what I use, this loon top ride. Just because it's the only one they had at my stop. Put it in there, shake it up, make sure it's not all caught up at the top, do a little wiggle, and now it's covered in it. The floating will come off pretty quick, especially when you're doing a Tinkara fishing, because you can just do like one false cast, rip off all of that, you know, excess, and then just let it hit the water after that. So just kind of go back, go forward, go back, and then let it land, and it will sit really well on top of the water because I can see it right there just drifting. Just gonna let that float around on its own. Try not to move it too much because alright guys, I figured we fish the other side for a change before we leave, just to see if there's anything over here worth chasing down. So far, I saw a couple fish move when I got over here, but if I had to guess, it's just a couple of little bluegills. Don't have much faith in this little corner here, but anyways, I think we're probably gonna call it here, guys. It was really nice to get out and do some fishing again. I've been, like I said, my mom being in the hospital for a month and a half, me taking care of my handicapped little brother and not being able to leave the house. It's just nice to get out and fish for a bit. Minus the angry ants. But other than that, this is a really good trip. And hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed filming it, because this hole's got some depth to it. Because it was definitely nice to get out the house and just get back to nature, you know. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, and most importantly, take it easy.